Ladies and gentlemen, it is the YSN Power Hour brought to you by our friends at Toyota of Warren. And now we go to the interwebs and we bring in one of my favorite dudes there is out there. Had a nice little chat with him earlier today. We said, hey, let's jump on the show. Let's talk about the Ursuline girls. Ladies and gentlemen, first year head coach of the Ursuline Lady Irish, Mr. Lavell Turnage. What's up, Al?
How you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
How did Turkey Day treat you?
Thanksgiving was very relaxing.
Well, that's good. You need it this time of year because this is the
Yeah.
last relaxing bit you're going to get until, I don't know, what, about March?
Yes, sir. So yeah, I just spent time with family. Of course, I watched basketball, I watched some football. Just doing the little things right now, just to appreciate what was coming along with the season. So yeah.
I love it, man. All right, so let's talk big change for you. It started last year, right after the season at Badger. You, my friend, were up for seemingly every single coaches award there was with the Lady Braves, and then this opportunity opens up, and one that you can't pass up. You come home and you get to be the head coach of the Lady Irish. What has been the biggest eye opener to you in making that switch from then until now?
And I think the biggest thing, like you said, is just being back at home. So being back at home at my former high school is just something like the feeling every time I walk in the gym, even when I came to watch a few of my AU players or Coach Bernard, or even just come to watch some boys basketball for Coach Gunther. It's just memories about even with the conditioning, even with the games, even wins and losses. So just being back at home has been the most eventful thing. So it's not work. It's not even being a head coach. It's just how can I make an impact and not only in my lives to others, but also impact whatever kid I come across here at Ursuline. They might not even play basketball. So the most eventful, I would definitely say, just be at home.
And I think everybody can appreciate that. It's always good to come home. For you, I mean, coming home this was a lot of buildup to get to this point. There's some coaches that aren't even signed until, well, it's what, November? Some of them haven't even been signed. And in September, you've had a whole year to kind of ramp up for this. And you guys, last night, right, you were playing in Hiram.
Yes.
So when you think about being able to crack that code and the build up, the hype up, and then all of a sudden it's game time. Would you rather have that long runway, or would you rather just kind of have what you have and try to make whatever's in the kitchen, so to speak?
Listen, one thing me and Coach Upshar has always talked about, he taught me this. He said, listen, coach the kids that want to be there. So I'd rather have the kids that are there. Like here now, we'll figure it out. Listen, constantly throughout the season, we're going to make adjustments, no matter if it's in the game, at practice. So I'm a coach who always thinks about, hey, listen, anything in life, you always have to make adjustments. Everything doesn't go as planned. So I try to use that philosophy as I get into my coaching style. So listen, I love the group I have right now. So we have our lumps, our bruises, and a difficult schedule, but that's part of the journey. I appreciate the most. Like you don't want to have everything handed to you easily. You want to go through some adversity, see how your team responds, and just prepares for the right way for the tournament.
You mentioned that difficult schedule. I mean, you started out pretty difficult
Yeah.
with Hoban last night. I mean, when you're looking at that schedule, there's a lot of people that would balk at it. There was a lot of people that would look at it and be like, "Oh man, we're just hoping to get a dub somewhere." You're a competitive dude, like one of the most competitive people I know. When you look at that schedule, what are you trying to take away from it other than just wins and losses?
I think the biggest thing I've constantly teach the girls is it's the little things. We treat our team as puzzle pieces, and if that puzzle piece doesn't do its job, then you won't get to see the beauty of the picture at the end of the story. So um, the difficult struggles, games is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. So just learning how to communicate better. And I always tell them, I said, listen, if you can make layups, make free throws, and play defense, those three things will always keep you in the basketball game. And so I appreciate playing the Hobans and the St. Vincent, St. Mary's, and the Louisville's, and the Salem's, the Canfields, the West Branches. I like a schedule like that because at the end of the day, any sport you play, you should have to play it the right way. You should have to play. That's why you have Cinderella stories. That's why you have teams that have no business even winning or staying in a game, but because you still have to play the sport. So I embrace it. I appreciate the schedule we have, and the opportunity of just learning each other each and out every day of the season.
And I think we can all appreciate you in the fact that being able to look at these teams in the eye, knowing that you're a first year head coach in this program, and you've got some senior playmakers on this
Mm-hmm.
team, no doubt. But you also are trying to build this program. I
Yes.
know B. Scott left the keys basically right into your lap. He said, "Hey, this isn't a Pinto. This is a Maserati, and this baby can fly with the
Mm-hmm.
right coaching." For him to, and I know he's been a mentor of yours, for him to kind of give you the keys to the castle, what does that mean to you, and what kind of things did he tell you in kind of taking over the Lady Irish program?
Listen, I still to this day, I still we talk practically 3-4 times out the week. And he just somebody I always, since I met him the past 3.5 years, I looked up to him and I just wanted to learn the game the right way. And so I learned bits and pieces of what it takes to keep the Maserati going. Like what needs to be the oil, what kind of oil we need for the oil change, tires. And so I look at it in the aspect as far as he's at the end of the day, he's teaching me about life. And that's one thing I can appreciate the most. And I try to instill that to the girls. Because at the end of the day, I'm not teaching them to be basketball players. I'm teaching them to be great young women in life. I know sometimes in life it's very difficult for a young lady to get opportunity they deserve, but I want to teach them that, hey, listen, if you keep working towards it, anything can happen. And so I'm big on that. And so we just translate life into basketball and go from there, honestly.
So for you, I mean, we talked about those seniors, those upperclassmen that you have, those playmakers. Give us a little bit more in-depth breakdown of who we're going to be calling on YSN this year, and some of the players that everybody should be watching out for.
So I'll be honest, we have a group of four. Of course, Lily Scott is a listen. She's a phenomenal point guard, and I'm not just saying that because she's my point guard, but honestly, like she's gonna play at Mount Union next year, and honestly, she plays the game the right way. Sometimes she plays it too much the right way. I sometimes selfishly I want her to take more shots, but just know who she is as a person. I know that's not her, but the way her and Meredith Gray has been leading this team, I've been extremely proud of them. You also can expect something from Kayla Grope, um, transfer from Southeast, and then Kennedy Carpenter is pretty special. Um, she is a freshman, 6 foot, can play the game inside out. I was pretty impressed the way she handled Canton Central as a freshman coming in 16-10. It's not easy for any freshman going from middle school basketball straight to varsity. And we have role players that are phenomenal, like Brooke O'Pallick. Anybody who knows me knows her nickname is Pat Bev. So she's feisty. She's a great defender. She'll go get rebounds. She'll take a charge. Carly Casey is another sophomore who can play the game the right way. We got, honestly, DJ, if we have 10 girls that can play the game. But anybody knows basketball. 10 players is a lot to play at the time, and so figuring out rotations, figuring out what group to put in certain situations, defense, offense. If we need to stop, we need a bucket. So that's the thing we're figuring out right now. So we have a legit 10 girls that can play the game the right way.
What are some of the challenges that you feel when you look at this roster, when you look at this program, where it's at right now, where you want it to go? What are some of the challenges you feel you're going to face in year one that you're trying to get ahead of?
So I think the biggest challenge for me is right now is the underclassmen. We have more underclassmen than upperclassmen. And so, in a sense, we only have out of those 10, 3 upperclassmen, and then we have 7 underclassmen. I look at it as a good and a bad thing. With those underclassmen, you're gonna have those growing pains. You're gonna have to figure out what they are good at, what they're not good at. And honestly, the roles this year might change to something completely next year. And so, I'm trying to build their confidence up. My biggest thing I always tell the girls is go make mistakes. Like just go play hard and go make mistakes. And so that's the biggest thing I want to see out of them. I think when they become juniors and seniors, we'll be one of those veteran teams in the area that's going to compete at a high level. And that's one thing I want to instill in them at this very moment.
So when you're looking at Ursuline, when you put that shirt on with the U on it, you look down, you see the shamrock in the middle of your floor.
Mm-hmm.
What feelings come to you as someone who just loves and respects that school and those programs so much?
See, There's a reason why green is my favorite color, because of Ursuline and because of Michigan State Spartans. So starting with them, it's just I was talking to my assistant the other day, and I said to him, I said, "There's not a moment that I don't embrace or enjoy coming into the school, like walking around, seeing our AD, seeing former students in my class, seeing former teachers that are now coaches that I like. I love seeing their face, and so I love it so much. In our off season, I would legit go watch Coach Reardon's football practice because I need to figure out, hey, what are you doing? What did you do to get your program to this level? And so I'm constantly asking questions, trying to learn. Um, and I remember it's the craziest thing that I was actually the ball boy when they won the first state championship in 2004. And
Wow.
so just seeing everything happen full circle, it's kind of mind blowing. Like it hit me, but it doesn't really hit me yet. Like if you'd have told me 20 years ago that I would have been in the girls basketball program, I would have called you crazy because I never wanted to teach young ladies. But I feel like he never makes mistakes, and that's the biggest thing I'm learning right now. Being one of the youngest coaches in the area and the youngest female coaches, sometimes you get a stigma of like not really knowing. And so just being year 5 and coaching high school girls basketball, I'm learning that it's a journey. And, you take your lumps, you take your bruises. Every season is a different season. And so that's the I'm taking away right now from being back at Ursuline.
So for you, I guess one of the biggest questions I have to kind of put a spin on this for you is, and a bow on it. You love that Badger program so much. You did so much to build up that Badger program, and some people might think it was real easy for you to walk away, and I think that there's a misconception there because you wanted to finish what you started, especially with some of the girls on that team. How tough was the decision for you to kind of leave one program to start another?
If I'm being honest, so I'll never forget the day I resigned. So when I was driving there, I was telling myself, you might need to slow down because it's not gonna. It was a very difficult decision. And anybody, I love until this day, I love my players from Badger. Katie Grexa reaches out to me day, every single day. And so other players reach out for my team last year, and it was more difficult because if I'm being selfishly, this year's team could have been better than last year's team. And
Mm-hmm.
selfishly, we didn't get it done. We lost in the district championship. And honestly, it was a few factors. I had to pray to God, like, listen, what do you want me to do? And I don't really tell people this story, but I'll tell you, it was we played LeBray last year around the bus. I'm playing my music, I'm listening, I'm praying. And he said to me, he said, listen, you won't be here next year, but they'll be just fine. And honestly, DJ, I started crying. My
Yeah.
hood was up, nobody knew I was crying. I said, I don't understand. He said, you won't understand. And so I didn't know it was Ursuline, but I didn't know what he was talking about at the same time too. And so just I miss him every single day, and just seeing him come to our scrimmages, come to our game last night. It's never easy, but at the end of the day, it shows me how much of an impact I made on their lives, and they still reach out to me this day. Like every single one of those players who I encounter with, former players, players on the team now, players I didn't get the opportunity to coach with, constantly show me love, embrace me, and so that's one thing I would never I would never regret. So my time at Badger, it was a stepping stone, and I knew that from the very beginning. I just knew I thought I would go straight to college, but that's not how life works. And so just progressing in life and just trying to be a better man each day is the ultimate goal for not for me for others, my son, my teammates, and my players. That's just who I'm trying to strive to be. It's not about me at the end of the day.
I was just going to ask you. I mean, you've got a young one at home,
Yeah,
and you're trying to teach him, and you're and this is guys everywhere. This isn't just your son. This is
yeah,
everybody that looks at you. And now from the Badger to the Ursuline programs, you're trying to lead by example. And
yeah.
the thing that I love most about you, and I know your favorite color is green, dude, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what color those uniforms are. you love on each and every one of those young ladies the way they should be, and you teach them up and coach them up the right way. And
Yes, sir.
that's, you know, you've been part of our All-Star games for a couple of years now, and we can't appreciate that enough. And there's a reason for that, and it's because you look after them, and to start building those relationships and letting them know that even though you might be on the opposite sideline, it doesn't mean that you don't care and you're not watching. So for you, long way around a short question, why do you do what you do?
It's crazy you say that because I grew up in a single parent household, and so most people know, most people don't know. My dad's been in prison since I was 3. He will get out when I turn 33. So it's been a rough journey, navigating being a father without having my father. And so I used to work at a juvenile detention center in Youngstown, and probably my favorite job I've ever worked. And it started there because God told me, He said, "Listen, you know, there's a reason to my madness. Why you didn't have your dad, why you became a father, why you knew you have a son." He reminded me. He said to me, he said, "No matter what child you interact with, I need you to let them know how much they are loved because of what life brings." And so I let my players know, like, listen, no matter what happens, I will always love you. That's a commitment I made to God. I said to him, I said, listen, I will obey what you're saying. Will it be easy? No, it won't be easy, but it'll be difficult. But you have those days, and so I, I just love what I do. And to answer the second part of the question is, women's basketball is something I like. I love basketball, but I'm a little more biased now because it's girls basketball, and so like moving the needle for girls basketball, not just here in Northeast Ohio, but across the country, is something I strive on every single day. Because as you can see, the game is growing. It's constantly growing in college and even in the WNBA. And so I just want those young ladies to get the opportunity to play at the next level or impact the next level, rather that's being a team manager, a coach, a videographer, whatever it may be. It can be done. And so the NBA is doing a good job right now as far as hiring female coaches, in the G League and the NBA, as far as making a huge impact. And so I want to be part of moving that needle. And so that's something I'm striving for right now.
Lavell Turnage, the head basketball coach of the Ursuline Lady Irish basketball team. My dude, I love you and I appreciate you more than you'll ever
Love you too,
know.
man.
Go give that beautiful family a hug and a kiss, because I know you don't see them a whole lot of time this year. So thanks for taking some time and cutting some time out for us, and we will certainly see you weekly, hopefully, man. Love having you on the show.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
You got it. LT, be well, my brother.
Yes, sir.
There he goes. Lavell Turnage, my guy, like forever. Um, you know, he mentioned Josh Upshire, in the beginning of that interview, and he and Josh are two guys that I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know how the relationship began, but I know how it's going, and I know how it's going to end, and that's continuing to be with guys like that and to make bigger impacts on the communities that they're in, and not just their communities that they coach in, the communities that they're in. And Lavell is a unbelievable coach, and he is doing major impacting things and making a huge splash in girls basketball and girls sports in general. So if you haven't had a chance to meet Lavell Turnage, I hope you got a good look at him there, because he's a different type of cat. It is time for the Joe Dickey Electric What's Your Spark, presented by Joe Dickey Electric. Anything commercial, anything industrial, anything residential, anything that makes it go zap, we need you to head on over to dickeyelectric.com and tell them why I sent you. Tell Eric